Hey guys, I have a question for you. Have you ever seen this passage before? It's the Lord's Prayer, and it has this very fascinating phrase in verse 11. It says, "Give us today our daily bread." Now that might not mean anything to you at the time, but believe it or not, this passage actually might have some end times value. It might actually have some eschatology in it. And after the intro, we're going to talk all about it. Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello, it's nice to see you. This is a Bible study channel. What we do here is study the Bible because we take the Bible seriously and we seriously study the Bible. There's about 200 videos on this channel, and so basically there's no shortage of things to look at. So all you have to do is click into the channel and find out whatever you want. My name is Adam Jordan Clark. I publish a brand new video every single day. This is a Bible study channel, and we do it in real live time as best as possible. Basically, what I mean by that is I publish these videos every single day, the day of. I mean, I literally make them 2 or 3 hours in advance and then just publish it because why not? Seems like a great idea. Also, I have to tell you this. We're spending the entire summer, that is June to August 2020, the whole summer of 2020, we're talking about eschatology, the end times. So we're talking about the book of Revelation, rapture, end of the world, all the really cool stuff everybody loves talking about. So if you're looking for something to do this summer and you're trying to get, into a community or get out of the house or just kind of get away from everything, you found your place. Click subscribe and the bell notification. Also, a message to all of you guys who have been following me. Let me tell you, first of all, a lot of you guys watched the video I did yesterday and the day before, which is really awesome. Really appreciate that. Also, a lot of you guys commented too, which was great because for me, it was a monumental moment. We finally got to the 200th video. I published 200 videos on YouTube, and it was really great. And plus, you guys gave me some really great feedback as to what we're going to be doing in the fall. And so I'm pretty certain that we're going to be talking about more practical stuff in the Bible, how we're going to apply the Bible to our lives, what does it mean to us today, 2,000 or 3,000 years after it's written. Also, I have to tell you something really cool. If you look here, back there behind me, I think, right there, you see that? I got a new addition to the studio. You see, like every day or every couple, probably about once a month or something, I think I go through and add stuff. I had those glasses the other day and a little speaker back there. And now I found this little bottle of a Fireball. And actually, if you watched yesterday's video, I had a beer in it because why not? It was a cool idea. And so today I found this little bottle, this little bottle of Fireball. They call it whiskey. It's not, but it's this little bottle of Fireball. And I said, wow, I'm gonna stick it on the shelf because it looks really cool. So yeah, that's the new addition. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the Lord's Prayer in Matthew chapter 6. Now, the reason why we're going to be talking about this prayer is because it does have, or it might possibly have some end times value to it. So let's go over the passage again, and then I'll tell you kind of the backstory about this passage and what scholars have to say about it. So when we come to the Lord's Prayer, it's in Matthew chapter 6, and it says, "Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be your name." That's the King James Version. It basically means holy is your name, or your name is to be treated holy. I'll make a comment about that in a couple of seconds. It says, "May your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we also forgive the debts of other people. And do not bring us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one." So, first of all, I want to talk about this phrase right here where it says, "May your name be treated holy," or hallowed be your name, or whatever. I was actually thinking about this the other day because somebody asked me the question. They said, "What does it mean to take the Lord's name in vain?" And I thought that was a really, really amazing point because when people, I don't know about other countries, but I know here in America, that's where I live. People think that saying Jesus Christ in a vulgar way or saying GD is taking the Lord's name in vain. I mean, that's typically what people think because that's what evangelical fundamentalists have told people. And my question that I always ask people when they say, well, taking the Lord's name in vain is saying GD or Jesus Christ or whatever, I always ask them the simple question. I say, well, do you know the name of God? And they say, yeah. Or they say no, or they say, I don't know. Whatever their answer is doesn't really matter because the question is an illustrative question, and it's really simple. You cannot take the Lord's name his name in vain if you don't know his name. You cannot take the Lord's name in vain if you don't even know how to pronounce his name. Okay, God, G-O-D in English, is not God's name. It's just the word that we use to say, here's this guy out there that we call God. It's not his name. So when you say G-D, believe it or not, in all technical terms, you're not taking the Lord's name in vain because you're not even using his name. You're just saying G-D. So, and the same thing with Jesus Christ. Is saying Jesus Christ taking the Lord's name in vain? No. Exegetically, Jesus did not exist when the Ten Commandments was given. Thou shalt not have any other gods before me. So that's a useless argument. Anyways, the point of the matter is that when you come across this passage, it says God's name is holy. It tells us some really incredible stuff about what Jesus thought and what the early Christians thought about God's name, which is basically Judaism. God's name should not be used improperly. That's what the Ten Commandments mean. That's what the first commandment says. Thou shalt not misuse my name. That's a better translation, actually. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. It means use God's name properly. Do not take his name don't misuse his name. Don't misspeak his name. Don't mistreat his name. Don't use his name in an improper manner. Okay? Saying GD is not taking his name in vain because you're not even using his name. So that gives you a little something to stick in your pocket the next time somebody makes an argument about cussing or something like that. Anyways, this phrase down here in verse 11, it says, give us today our daily bread. Now, this is what I want to talk about, daily bread. I know that for a lot of people, they're not really familiar with what's happening here. So I'm going to tell you, okay? This is basically what some scholars have talked about. The word daily here is only, from what we know, it's only used one time. One time in the Bible and one time in ever. I personally don't know of any other times where this word is actually used in any Greek text. And it's kind of what a lot of scholars are saying as well. So given the fact that we have one word that's only used one time, we only have one use of it, and we don't really know what the word means. So basically what I'm telling you is when you're reading this passage, it says, give us today our daily bread. The word daily, we have no idea what that means. Daily bread, what is that? And so this has kind of sparked some very interesting discussions. What does this passage actually mean when Jesus says, give us today our daily bread? What does he mean by daily bread? And so you have all of these very interesting theories about what it could possibly mean. And you can go and look up these things if you want to. They're in commentaries, and you can find them on articles and so on and so forth. There's many different views. At the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you this straight up. We have no idea what this means. We're never going to know what it means, simply because how would you know? Even if you were right, how could you prove that you're right? You just can't say, well, I'm right because I'm right. I mean, it doesn't work like that. You have to have evidence to kind of support what you're saying. And there's no evidence. I mean, we have one usage, maybe two, but we have one usage, and it's right here, so we don't really know. And so how do you understand this passage in context? Well, what I personally choose to do is I view Matthew's gospel soteriologically and eschatologically. Basically, those are the two primary theological points that Matthew is writing about. He's writing about the end times, and he's writing about soteriology. And so when you read this passage and you understand that Matthew is thinking about eschatology, he's thinking about the end of the world, this passage kind of, comes alive. And so this is my own perspective on this passage. I'm not disregarding other scholars' opinions. I'm just saying this is my perspective, and I'm proposing it to you. Perhaps maybe, when it says daily bread, give us today our daily bread, perhaps maybe he's saying this kind of end-time statement where he's saying, look, we're praying for the kingdom. We're respecting God's name. We're not misusing his name. We're doing everything that God wants us to do. We're asking God for forgiveness of our sins. We're forgiving the debts of other people. We don't want to fall into temptation, a.k.a. we need to live our life like it's our last day here on earth, because Jesus could come back at any minute. So give us today our daily bread. Take care of us today, but we're going to be living our lives, as it's our last day. That's what I think this passage might mean. I have no proof of this, neither does anybody else for their views. I'm just saying it's a suggestion. The reason why I'm talking about this passage is because when you're reading through the Bible, you do find passages like these, and it causes you to think, and you go, wow, man, maybe this does have something to do with this, or maybe it doesn't. It's something interesting to think about. But the point is that This particular passage, give us today our daily bread, the word daily. Nobody knows what it means. There's all kinds of views on this passage. And you know what's amazing is that you, as a Bible reader, as a Bible student, you get to choose what you think this could possibly mean. You can study this word out. You can read commentaries. You can look at what scholars have to say. You could even think about it yourself, like I have. I've thought about this, and I said, hey, maybe it has something to do with eschatology. It's a possibility. It's just a suggestion. It's something to think about. It's pure speculation, but it's something to think about. And you, as a student of the Bible, you get to do the very same thing about this passage. So I highly encourage you, read this, study this, look at some scholars, read some commentaries, and come up with your own opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Listen, if you like this video, let me know. If you did not like this video, tell me why. I got some more playlists up here if you want to go and check them out. Don't forget to click big red A, because when you do, you subscribe to the channel, and you get a brand new video just like this every single day. My name's Adam Jordan Clark. Thanks for watching. As always, I will see you in the next video.